We need to stop and recognize that these beatitudes are a call to live our lives in the way that God has always intended us to. That's the deal. We get to live our lives differently. And you know what? We're not going to get ahead in the ways of the world. There are going to be times where we realize, hey, for me to advance in my company, I would have to do things that I find offensive, so I'm not going to do it. And that's okay. We need to be all right with that. We need to acknowledge that we're broken and that our instincts and the environment that we find ourselves in drive us in the opposite direction of God. The world and the kingdom in and of itself usually teaches us to do exactly the opposite of what God created us to do. And the consequence of doing that is sin, chaos, and death. But when we choose to trust Jesus, he assures us that his way will build life for us. When we live the truth of God's creation, we get to be a part of this plan to restore the world, and we get to experience the joy that comes from being in union with the one that defines love. It's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be. Jesus modeled that radical love for us, and he modeled it all the way to the cross. Jesus overcame the world, though. And if we live by his love, we will continue to see how God triumphs over the world as well, and we will see how God continues to bring sight to the lost, and he'll bring home those who are struggling. If we accept Jesus' invitation to live our lives his way, we will find ourselves part of God's mission to save this world. It won't be easy. We'll find ourselves diametrically opposed to the customs and practices of this world. And that's always been the case. Since the fall, that has always been the case. That's why God has always encouraged us on this mission.